Everybody, Mike Newmeyer again. Phone number's 410-902-0464, and we deal with everything recession, and especially in safe money to roll over your 401ks and so forth into to provide you with safe lifetime income. Okay, so that's what we're all about, and I'm going to talk more about inflation and more about what's going on in the recession. People call me. I started talking about this topic some time ago, and I continue to get a lot of calls asking about inflation and recession and what ideas do I have. Well, I'm going to repeat a lot of what I've said before, and I've added some things to it. I've got a long list here, and I'll get started with it. And so here we go. Okay, are we in a recession? That's a question. Well, ask yourself, are you in a recession? When you go to the gas station, does it cost you more for gasoline? We know what that answer is. When you go to the grocery store, is everything available like it was before? Is there inflation? Is it costing you more money for meat? Is it costing you more money for hamburgers? Is it costing you more money for fish? Is it costing you more money for dairy products? Is it costing you more money for paper goods? Not hard answers, not hard questions to answer, huh? I mean, obviously, we have a lot of inflation. We are in a recession. We're in a technical recession anyway because we've had 2 quarters back to back that have actually decreased our gross domestic product. So that is how we measure in a recession. Now, the administration says, "Oh no, it's not a recession." I don't believe much of what the current administration says. I can almost guess that whatever they say, the truth is probably the opposite. Huh? Sorry to say that. Very sad to say that. Okay, so another indicators of inflation and of recession. Rates are increasing. Good for savers. Good for money in the bank. Finally, we're going to get something for that. But in fact, we have some products that are paying over 4% for 3 years. Over 4% compounding for 3 years. Now think about that. It's as good as any CD was years ago. So over 4% for 3 years. That's something. But basically, rates are increasing at the bank. Not good for home buyers. Not good for people buying cars on time because your rates are going up. Not good for credit card holders. All of a sudden, your rates are going up. And if you were paying 15% before, now you think about it. Look at those balances and look at those rates, what's going to happen. So, rates are going up. That's inflation. And incidentally, inflation is a tax. All taxes are inflation, and inflation is a tax. So if inflation has doubled the cost of some things and increased the cost by 50%, 25%, whatever it has, those are taxes. Okay, that's basically because the government is increasing rates. Okay, increasing rates. That's what goes on all the time with Jay Powell over there at the Fed. And he's promising us more increases. They're doing that to fight inflation. What does that mean? The higher they raise the rates, the lower demand goes because people aren't willing to pay those prices. But then as the demand goes, then prices continue to go up because the companies are selling less, so they got to make more money. Yeah. So it's chasing their tail. It just doesn't work out the way that they need to work it out. Ultimately, if they raise the rates high enough, which has been done, 20, 30 years ago, yes, they will reduce inflation down, but we will not be able to afford the basics that we need. So, bad situation all around. All right? Everything inflates. It's just like, I've always said when the market goes down, everything goes down. I had a client years ago who used to say, yes, everything but Disney. Well, guess what happened to Disney this year? Okay? So the reality is when the market goes down, everything goes down. If you're in the market, guess what? You know it already. If you looked at your 401k statements, you know it already. And you can't protect yourself by being in the market. We have products that do protect you, that cannot lose money, okay? Can provide lifetime income and so forth. So, that's again, call me, 410-902-0464. If you're tired of looking at your accounts going down, we can fix that. We can fix it. Save money that doesn't go down. Also insured. Okay. All right, so everything inflates. It acts like a tax. It is a tax. Um, in every giveaway by the government, huh? Every time they say we're going to put this money back into the economy, we're going to invest. I love it. We're going to invest in the economy. Guess what they're really doing is they're creating more inflation. They print more money. They stick it in the economy. There's more money to spend. That means the prices go up. Okay, the prices go up because there's more money. More money chasing fewer goods. All of a sudden, the prices go up more. So it's all inflationary. And that's the way it works. Supply and demand. It's the old story. It's very simple. Supply and demand. If we have less oil, which of course, our president took care of that, didn't he? By canceling the Keystone Pipeline and all the other. He said, whoa, we've got all kinds of gasoline. We got all kinds of oil available. The oil companies are just not drilling. Well, even if that's true, think about this. If you were in charge of an industry and they told you, the government said, we're going to put you out of business, do you think that you'd be investing more oil wells and more development if you knew the government was closing in on you and they were going to put you out of business? And even if that's going to happen, do you think, let's say that you're running this company and they're telling you they're going to put you out of business, don't you think you would try to make more money now? Huh? Don't you think your stockholders, your activist stockholders would be trying to make more money now if they're going to be going out of business? I mean, this government is not doing us a lot of favors. Okay. And it's also affected diesel. So now diesel has gone way up. And you think those big trucks, what do you think they use? So everything is going. And incidentally, if the trucks are paying more for their fuel, what does that do to the load that they're carrying in those trucks? The companies that are hiring those trucks to carry their goods, all our food, you know how much of our food is carried cross country in those trucks? Huge percentage. Okay, if it's grown in Carolina and sold in California, it went from Carolina to California, and it didn't fly there. So everything is more expensive because of the cost of fuel. Fuel raises the cost of everything. And incidentally, those electric plants, what do you think they run on? What do you think fires those plants? What do you think supplies the energy to them? Fossil fuel is at the basis for everything. All of a sudden, fossil fuel is our enemy. I don't think it's fossil fuel that's our enemy. I think it's an exaggerated situation, and we're trying to basically put ourselves out of business. I think that there's a movement ahead to ruin our country, and they want socialism. They want us to depend on the government. I don't want that. Anyway, and what about lawlessness? Look at the cost of all the crime in the United States. That's inflationary. Of course, the more vandalism, the more stealing, all that kind of thing. Retail establishments have to raise their price to stay in business. When all of a sudden the vandalism or the shoplifting goes from 2% up to 12%. They got to raise their prices. The most expensive things are a disincentive to do better. It's the same thing in employment. If we use this concept of equity, then who wants to do more? Who wants to do more? So what you have is less productivity and rising costs. Okay? And incidentally, I just want to say this. You cannot reduce inflation by raising taxes. I've heard this, we're going to reduce inflation. Those people have never been in business. They haven't got the first idea of what they're doing, okay? And we're the ones that are suffering. So green is inflationary. And all the myths that we hear, the exaggerated myths that we hear about green. We're going to stop fossil fuel, We're going to stop living our lives. You cannot transition overnight. Think it's great to transition over time. There's nothing wrong with that. But we can't transition overnight. Government waste is inflationary. And the more we spend worrying about the cultural wars, the more government, incidentally, the more government. In Baltimore City lives on patronage. Money coming from the federal government, money coming from the state government, comes in, is supposed to be helping the city. Well, if it's been doing so much help, look at the city, it's gone down every year. Then where's the money go? The money goes to the government in the city of Baltimore. and all of a sudden they